Your party is traveling along a lonesome road, and as you're riding past, you see off to the side some sort of memorial. Welcome to my channel. I focus on tabletop role playing games, video games, and science fiction. Today we see roadside memorials scattered around the world, actually. They're in the United States, in various places. Some states make them illegal, which I have mixed feelings about. I like the description that Wikipedia gave. A roadside memorial is a marker that usually commemorates a site where a person died suddenly and unexpectedly away from home. These are often places where people have died because of some sort of traffic situation. You find it in an area where the roads often are treacherous and slippery in the winter, and you see those type of things. Thinking back into your normal fantasy setting, you can have a variety of problems that are there. The one that springs to mind is you have a road, but a gopher or a groundhog or some sort of ground creature has created a den beside the road because that's where they live, and some sort of poisonous snake, say a rattlesnake, comes up and detects the gopher or whatever and eats the gopher, but then takes over the den. So the rattlesnake is now living in this den beside the road. As your cart is coming along, you have two horses, and one of the horses steps down and his hoof slips because the ground is weakened because there's a den under there. The hoof slips through the ground and the horse stumbles and breaks his leg. Now, this is basically a fatal wound to a horse. And so the horse freaks out and scatters. But meanwhile, you've startled the other horse and you've startled the snake, who comes out and now attacks the other horse. So you've got one horse with a broken leg and the other horse has a snake bite. You manage to quickly dispatch the snake. It's not that dangerous for you, but it unexpectedly, your character now is horseless. You've got a cart. This could be a death sentence, depending upon the part of town where you're at. So this person who was just driving down the road now is stuck out in the middle of nowhere, and that could be kind of dangerous, and they could end up dying, and someone could come and create a memorial to commemorate their last days alive. Now, what does this do for your party? First off, it allows you to, in a subtle way, introduce a warning that there are dangers in this area. Maybe not terrible, or maybe this is where an orc raid came down and killed some people. Or it allows you to introduce other types of lore into your campaign about this area here, how dangerous it is to go out alone or to go out, and things can happen. And you could even do, that at this time they would have probably buried the body close to where they died, because why would you transport them all the way back to town, which could be a long way, to bury them and things like that. So this opens up opportunities for the players to use Speak with Dead to find out more. They could dig up the body, desecrate the grave, and do things like that if they're that bent or whatever, or to see if there's any treasure there. This could obviously be some sort of entrance to a dungeon if you wanted to do that, but it could just be this is where someone died and was buried because of that. This would allow them to find things. It's, to me, this is a bit more interesting than, you find the dead traveler beside the road. This body it's been there a little bit longer, and someone has taken the time to bury the body and maybe put some sort of a headstone commemorating the passing of this person. And so you could do these just scattered throughout, because that's anywhere that it would be dangerous. just have it on the roads where in the wintertime it gets slippery and the roads are dangerous and treacherous. Um, I don't know if you ever watched the History Channel. There was um, the ones about making of America, or the men who the men who founded it. And they talk about J.P. Morgan and how his father died from a carriage accident. It wasn't a car accident, it was a carriage accident. And his father died, and it gave him the power, and that's how J.P. Morgan had the authority to go in and take over what became General Electric. So you have things like that, so that it happened not that terribly long ago. And you look at the interesting things that could happen to people who died, and it adds flavor and color to your world. Or you could even, you're going someplace, and you're in one town, and a woman comes up and says, "Oh, you're going down this road. I wonder, could you just put some flowers on the memorial to my husband who died?" This could be a touching way, interesting way to bind the characters into the world, because now you're talking about someone just asking you just to put some flowers on a headstone because you're going that way. It's a long distance away, and she can't go there, but she remembers her husband. Or you could have the reverse, it remembers his wife or whatever, but that allows you to introduce some things to the characters about the lore and so on. And it's sort of sad to think that people do die this way, but that's happened throughout history. We don't choose where or when we die. So that's always the interesting challenge, is what kind of life did you lead? And do people remember you? And so this allows you to introduce some humanity into the game, and ask characters to recognize this. And it adds a little bit more seriousness, but it also can be various ways. It says, "I told you I was sick." We can get into some of the strange headstones that people have actually done, that are out there. So have you tried any of these type of things in your campaigns? Have you just ran into little memorials to someone who passed? And like I said, you could actually be the interesting, lawful good villain who comes and raises the dead and brings them back. If that's what you want to do, that can have some interesting ramifications. So I think about the widow who asked you to put flowers on her dead husband's grave, but she has since moved on because he's passed, and she now has a new husband. But you go and raise the dead man, and he goes back to town, and there's his widow with some other man, and that can cause interesting challenges, but allows you to to do some interesting things like that. So I'd like to see what you've done with just simple memorials, not elaborate, ornate structures or tombs or catacombs. We're just talking something that, have you put those into your world? What have your players done with things like that? Or say a player character dies because of something, and an orc comes up and kills them, or a dire wolf or whatever, or just a wolf or something comes up and kills your character. Do you drag him back to town to bury him, or do you bury him where he dropped, and did you leave a memorial for him? Like to hear about that. Thank you for watching my video. I look forward to learning what you think about this video. Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate all your comments. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give me a thumbs down. I appreciate both forms of feedback. If you're new here and would like to subscribe, you can click on the icon on the left. If you're interested, there's more content on the right.